Chapter 22. Discrimination and Equality. Let's learn. Prejudice and Discrimination. Constitution of India. Fairness. India is a huge country, full of diversities. Different people speak different languages, follow different religions, cultures, traditions, customs, etc. This diversity and inequality in different fields generates negative feelings and opinions in some of us. Many people may think of someone's race as the same as their ethnicity, but they are very different. Race is a socially constructed category composed of people who share biologically transferred traits that members of a society consider important, whereas ethnicity is a shared cultural heritage which can contain many different races within it. Prejudice and discrimination. Sometimes we have unreasonable dislike for some person or a group. Prejudice is an attitude concerning the way people think about others. It means to hold an opinion about someone without having any evidence to justify it just because of social class, gender, religion, etc. Prejudice often comes from ignorance and fear. It also comes from pride because people think that the groups they belong to are superior to others. It means some people are favored while others are not, only because they belong to a certain group, caste, religion, race, sex, etc. Prejudice may or may not be harmful to a person or a group, but it cannot be considered as healthy. Discrimination. Discrimination means getting unfair treatment because of gender, race, caste, or religion. It is the acting out of prejudices when people are treated unfairly because of prejudices held against them. Discrimination based on caste is prevalent in many parts of India. People belonging to different regions and religions may be discriminated against because of prejudice, insecurity, or a feeling of superiority or inferiority. It can be harmful to a person or a group. Infohive. A stereotype is a fixed image about a person or group of persons. We develop stereotypes when we are unable to obtain information we would need to make a fair judgment about people or situations. When we use the term stereotype, we fit all persons of a particular group into one fixed image. We ignore the fact that each individual is unique and has special qualities. For example, all boys are naughty, girls are bad at mathematics are some stereotypes. Infohive. When a person is selected on the basis of his merit, it is not discrimination. Fairness. It is the characteristic of being just to everyone, of treating one and all without discrimination or partiality. It is the absence of prejudice. Since men are not created equal, some are born rich while others are poor, some are naturally beautiful while others are not that attractive. Still, some are born smart and intelligent while others are born with lesser intellect. It is important that everyone is given equal and fair opportunities. Discrimination in public life and affairs is not fair. Everyone should have equal rights. Every country and every society tries to provide their citizens equality in every aspect, whether political, economic, or social. Each citizen is given their just and fair share of opportunities to help them improve their status. Discrimination may exist at different levels. It can be found even in our homes. We can see that the girl child is often discriminated against in clothes, in food, in education, etc. Outside the home, a person or a group may be discriminated against on different grounds, some of which are as follows. Caste. Caste discrimination was based on a system where those born into the lowest castes, who now call themselves Dalits, were treated as subhumans or untouchables. Dalits were not allowed to drink from the same well, attend the same temples, and wear shoes in the presence of an upper caste who considered themselves superior to Dalits. Religion. Religious discrimination involves treating a person unfavorably because of his or her religious beliefs. The law protects not only people who belong to traditional organized religions such as Buddhism, Christianity, Hinduism, Islam, and Judaism, but also others who have sincerely held their religious, ethical, or moral beliefs. Language. Language discrimination means treating individuals differently in some specific employment because of their native language or other characteristic of speech such as accent. Region. All Indians have one citizenship, that is, all Indians can settle in any part of India and do any work of their choice. However, if a person is discriminated against only because he does not belong to that region, then it is unfair and not lawful. Brain tickler. What type of inequality do you have to face at home? Gender. Gender discrimination involves treating someone unfavorably because of that person's gender. Respect for diversity and the Constitution of India. The Constitution of India helps India constitute its diverse components into one functional reality with its principles of human rights, federalism, and separation of powers. All rules and laws are made keeping this equality in its spirit. Also, the country is governed according to these laws. Our constitution respects diversity of different people. It tries hard to eliminate any type of inequality, prejudice, and discrimination. Equality. Equality in its wider sense embraces gender, race, disability, and discrimination on the grounds of age, language, or social origin, including beliefs or opinions. It is not about treating everyone the same. It is about recognizing and respecting diversity and differences. Our Constitution lays emphasis on justice, equality, fraternity, etc. All human beings are born free and equal in dignity and rights. It refers to providing every individual the same opportunities to improve his rank or condition in life without expecting that the results would also be equal. It provides the same compensation and benefits to workers or employees with the same job. InfoHive. The Constitution of India is the largest written constitution of the world. It was adopted on 26 November 1949 and it came into effect on 26 January 1950. Fighting for equality. During the freedom struggle, Dalit, women, farmers, and tribals fought not only for freedom from foreign rulers but also for dignity and equality. The Constitution of India, which contains all laws, rules, and regulations of the land, gives equal rights to both men and women, special provisions for women and children, scheduled castes, scheduled tribes, and other backward classes, etc., made by the government. Discrimination on grounds of religion, race, caste, sex, or place of birth is unlawful. The Constitution includes suitable provisions for diversity and equality of people. Seats are reserved for SCs and STs in educational institutions and legislatures. We have made huge progress towards a more equal society. Today, the vast majority of us are happy studying, working, and making friends with people from other ethnic groups. Trumbull says, "We, the people of India, having solemnly resolved to constitute India into a sovereign, socialist, secular, democratic republic, and to secure to all its citizens justice, social, economic and political, liberty of thought, expression, belief, faith and worship, equality of status and opportunity, and to promote among them all fraternity, assuring the dignity of the individual and the unity and integrity of the nation. In our Constituent Assembly, this 26th day of November 1949, do hereby adopt, enact and give to ourselves this Constitution. Fundamental Rights. The Part 3 of the Constitution of India gives a detailed description on an approval of rights called the Fundamental Rights. The fundamental rights in Indian constitutions act as an assurance that all Indian citizens can and will live their lives in peace and harmony. These fundamental rights include equality before the law, freedom of speech and expression, freedom of association and peaceful assembly, freedom of religion, and the right to constitutional remedies for the protection of civil rights. Following are the fundamental rights in India. Right to equality. The right to equality has been provided in Article 14, 15, 16, 17 and 18 of the Constitution, which means equality before law, ruling out any prejudice on the basis of race, religion, caste, creed, gender or place of birth. This right also means an equality of opportunity with respect to employment, abolition of untouchability, and also abolition of titles. Right to freedom. Articles 19 to 22 say everyone has the freedom to choose his or her occupation or profession. Everyone has the right to speech and expression, right to assemble peacefully or to form association, right to move freely throughout the territory of India, right to life and liberty, right to reside and settle in any part of India, and so on. Right against exploitation. Article 23 talks about the banning of forced labor and prohibition of employment of children in insecure and hazardous jobs. Right to freedom of religion. Article 25 to 27 say people belonging to different religions have the freedom to follow their religion, speak their language and celebrate their festivals. Cultural and educational rights. Article 29 and 30 explain the preservation of language and culture of minorities and right of minorities to establish educational institution. Right to constitutional remedy. Dr. Bhimrao Ambedkar, the chairman of drafting committee, said, "It is very soul of the constitution and the very heart of it. All other rights are meaningless if there is not a right to get them enforced." By this right, under Article 32 and 32A, a person can approach the court of law if any of his rights is infringed by any government authority or any private person. Thus, the court is the protector of the fundamental rights. Brent Tickler. In what ways are people with special needs discriminated against? Special child, a case study. A disability is a restriction to perform an activity in the manner considered normal for a human being. Capacities and needs of a special child are different from others. A girl obtained a place at a university to study for a degree course. She was blind, and prior to her starting the course, the university carried out an assessment of her needs to ensure that, as well as being able to move around the campus safely, she could fully access the course, particularly the texts that student had to study. A report was prepared in which appropriate arrangements were specified. Unfortunately, the university failed to deliver the specified support, and after a year, she had to leave the course. She claimed damages for disability discrimination. There is need for a complete approach on the issue. We need to change the education system to make it accessible to all children and prepare the society for the changes of the future. Recap. Prejudice is an attitude concerning the way people think about others. Discrimination means getting unfair treatment because of gender, race, caste, or religion. Our Constitution lays emphasis on justice, equality, fraternity, etc. The fundamental rights in the Indian Constitution act as an assurance that all Indian citizens can and will live their lives in peace and harmony. Equality in its wider sense embraces gender, race, disability, sexual orientation, and discrimination on the grounds of age, language, or social origin, including beliefs or opinions.